Alright, just making a video of the pasture that I bale grazed over winter on. I kept 2 cows out here all winter. We fed them, I almost just fell, fed them 8 round, actually 10 round bales out here. Maybe a little more, maybe 12. But you can see left quite a bit behind in some of the spots. And that was on purpose. This area right here was a big patch of broom sedge, and this is how I'm going to try and choke that stuff out. Throw a round bale on it, let the cows graze it, beat it up a little bit, and leave a lot behind. I won't have any production out of this. I don't think any grass will grow here for most of the summer. I will run the bush hog over it, chop it up a little bit, but there was no edible grass here anyway. So, not like I'm out anything. You can see over here, this is a little bit smaller patch of the broom sedge. Right there's a couple clumps of it. But we'll, when I bush hog this, it'll spread it out a little bit, but it should choke that down some, get some organic matter up. But cows stayed in this top half all winter. And I don't know if the camera makes it out. The bottom half of this paddock, it was open to them, but there's really nothing down there for them to eat, so they weren't interested. And you can see the difference in the green from up here to down there. So just them being up here, peeing, eating, pooping. We're only middle of April, but all this hay left behind, quite a bit of manure. The difference is really noticeable. See how green it is here and how brown it is down there. That hasn't even woke up yet. So they did, put a little impact, a little disturbance, but right here, beautiful patch of clover coming up that I don't remember seeing a lot of clover out here before. I was going to overseed this for clover, but things got in the way, and I don't think there's much frost coming. So I'm not an expert on that. I think you have to frost seed when it's going to get cold again, so it sucks it in the ground. But everywhere that they were and grazed the ground, the grass to the ground, this spring, zoom in, we have clover coming up. So I know that the common thought is to not graze it to the ground, and but maybe it's helping us out in this situation. This was another spot, really broom sedgy. I did take the tractor in there and clean a little bit of that up, compost it. Another one was here. When the bale was here, there was a lot of snowpack, so they actually took it and ate more of it before it got poopy. And then over here, had another one that's cleaned up really nice. This will come back quickly. This hay had a lot of timothy in it, and with seed heads on them. So I'm hoping that we get some of that coming up. I'm going to keep them out of here, out of this whole big space. I'm going to keep them out of here until, I don't think we'll be back here until mid or end of June. So I really want this to come on. This pasture was okay. but not a huge producer, not like Outback. Outback was our main grass producer last year. So the growth rate was a lot faster. And I'm not exactly sure why that is. This was grazed the year before. That wasn't. But this was not overgrazed. This had 2 cows on it, on and off, between here and out front for a split up. So got a little bit of clumps here. Right under that one, we have a briar coming up, so we'll just leave the hay. Hopefully it'll choke it out. And right here was a clump of broom sedge. So after I bale grazed over there, I took the tractor, moved it to here. Big clump of it, a lot of good manure in it, dumped it on top of that broom sedge. So no chemicals used, just cows and residue. Try and choke it down, but we'll walk down here. You can see it's not really even waking up. And we did it. I did leave. This was taller in the fall. I was planning on getting another pass through here with the cows before winter, but we got a really wet and icy snow, and it just pushed that right to the ground. So maybe that's why it's not coming up. But if the grass is pushing up through wet hay, it should be pushing up through its own residue. I think when I do come back into this field, I will this bottom half. I'm going to keep them on it a little longer than normal. Let them just rub it right down, manure it up pretty good. Probably feed some hay on it just to get some more biomass on the ground. It's really, see if we can get a better view. Yeah, you can see how green it is where the cows were all winter. But down here where they weren't. And this is downhill, so it's not a water issue. It's not wet down here at all. I mean, it's damp, but it's not saturated. So all the cattle nutrients are up there, and the disturbance is bringing on new plants that we didn't even know were out here. I've always wondered why there wasn't much clover. And I did seed a little bit along the fence and a little bit out front, but I'm seeing more clover come up there where we beat the ground up than where I seeded. This front, we ran them, not those two, but the 3 that went to the butcher. We ran them in here pretty heavy on their way out. I think they were in this strip has to be 3 acres, maybe more. It's the largest, well, second largest section we have sectioned off with main fence. And we were on this divided into paddocks for 30 straight days. So a little overgrazed. I left it high, fed hay on it with them, and ran them a little longer than I'd like normally, but that was to kind of grub it down and to get more hay fed and some manure out. So hopefully this one really produces this year. Had a little bit of This was a slower patch. This one and the one I was just in, they were way slower than that back at recovery time. So that what that does to me is I end up leaving them out back a little bit longer than I want, and then run them through here faster than I want because of the lack of production. So this summer I'm gonna buy in hay from last year. I'm gonna buy in hay, and anything that's not producing well, I will keep the rotation the same. So we split this, or I split this into a total of 6 different paddocks, and I like to keep them for 48 hours in each one. So 12 days out here. 12, yeah, 12 to 15 days, depending. And some of it, I really only could get a day on it. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to back fence them. After they go through and pretty much eat it, I'll let them in the smaller strips. I will open it and give them, so it'll be 2 days for each section, and then the part that they just were, I'll move the water away from where they were and give them 4 days on half, 2 days on the other half, and just keep moving it that way, trying to. A little bit of soil disturbance is my goal on this section. I know I'm going to get some grief for that, but I just think it's beneficial. There has to be native grasses in here that are going to come up once we keep running cows on it. That's how nature works. I did notice that last year we had a lot of buttercups, and that caused me to have to mow it quite a bit in the spring, and I'm not noticing the buttercups really coming up as much. So maybe it's working. But you can definitely see hay piles. I raked after I grazed those 3 through here last year. I came out here with a stone rake, and I raked most of the hay up into smaller piles because it was quite a bit left behind. And that way I can run the bush hog and chop it up. I don't have a lot of broom sedge out here to choke out, so, or briars. So back there I'm leaving the piles to climb under the fence, leaving the piles to choke some noxious weeds out. And up here we're just using it for organic matter. But once again, in here where we overgrazed it in the fall, we have a ton of clover coming up. Not sure what this is, but let me get it up out of here. Junk in the pasture. Not so much clover coming up in this section. And right there, if we zoom in, that right there, I can't point to it, but that right there is a buttercup. And that right there is broom sedge. And right there is a little, but it's not awful. So this is going to get managed differently. I'm going to try and manure it up more. And I'm going to experiment with this section only with raking it after the cows to break up the manure and just see for my own. I've read enough, and everybody argues whether breaking up the manure pats is beneficial or not. So I'm going to do an experiment and see one paddock versus another what the improvement is. See right here, this manure pat broke down nicely, and then we have clover coming up. So, but in here, just a few feet away, a lot of buttercups, a little bit of clover, perfect distribution of dry matter packed down on the ground, but not super productive. And you can almost see strips where the rake went, where I raked it, how much greener that is. I don't know if those were when I went downhill or uphill. Maybe that makes a difference. Who knows? Learn as we go. But see the nice green strip going down the hill there? And then some of that's hay, but not a lot of growth. And then over here, we have brown strip, green strip, green strip. Just real narrow. It's quite amazing. Really green strip. Some of it's residue, but in person I can see it. You know, that's not hay. That's just naturally what's here. And then right next door to it, a few feet away, where the rake drug, nice and green. You can tell a bale was here, and it's pretty dead. But I'm okay with that. I'm looking for it. It'll be slow, but there's a seed pack in there. You can see, or I can see right here, where it was killed to the ground from leaving hay behind. It's greening up already. So we'll get some more species of grasses coming up, maybe weeds. But I like to beat up the um, buttercups with the bush hog, keep them down, because every year when we get our yearlings in, there's always one stupid one that loves to eat those things, and it gives them. It's not good for cattle. It's not good for cows. Most of them avoid them, but there's always a stupid one that loves eating them. You can watch it, and it will have explosive spray at you diarrhea. Stuff's not good for them. I'm not going to spray to get rid of it, but so I will let this go. I think they're coming in about 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. So we have 5 weeks for grasses to come up before they get on it. Just the two to rotate. That's the other reason why I'm just moving them so quickly, is I want to leave a lot behind that can be up for when we get the others. And we're probably going to expand this overall this year, move down a little closer to the creek. I think the beavers may have left. If that's the case, I get all that over there. And a creek for them to drink out of for that section. But I want the beavers out first. Or at least their numbers reduced. The dam is way down. A little bit muddied up in here. Right here. Not ideal, but it'll come back. As soon as the As soon as the pasture dries down and the buttercups come up a little bit more, if they do, I'll get out here and mow this with the bush hog, chop this stuff right up, put the bush hog right to the ground, shred this hay, and be off to the races. It's really exciting this time of year for me. There's a clump of broomsedge, so just take some hay and kick it over it. Kick a nice pile on top, leave it there. There we go. Seems stupid, but that'll rot and it'll choke it out. So might not kill it, but it'll make it difficult for it to come back. And then we'll have this nice pile of compost sitting here for new plants to grow in. Unfortunately, up here by the gate, coming in with the tractor a few times to move hay, Bill made a mess. But the driveway drains into here. Well, the yard under the driveway drains into here, so this is always wet. And it's where one of the water tanks goes, so by midsummer this is a disaster anyway. Cows will tear this up, but we're not really out anything. This is all dead over here. The horse trailer was parked here. But as we go down from the dead spot, super green. Had hay piled here last summer too. So I'm wondering if the hay, the bottom part that did rot down, didn't end up feeding all that. This stuff fascinates me. Why I'm trying to share it. So many larger farmers or people with more acreage, they don't get time to pay attention to the small things. But if you like the video, hit thumbs up. If not, sorry. Have a nice day.